Ooh, it is hot. I'm about tired of seeing these excessive heat warnings every day. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something fiery and hot since it is fiery and hot outside. We're going to do a look with the Metropolis palette. I think I'm going to dip into some of the shades I don't believe I've actually used on the channel before within this palette. These kind of fiery warm tones. Oop, right around here. So we're going to dip into these today, create a look, a nice summery glam. In case you're going to a festival or something, I don't know. Not me. My plans thus far have been to just go swimming. But anyways, if that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to subscribe. Turn that notification bell on, I guess, if you want to be notified when I upload. Apparently YouTube likes that. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, let's go ahead and just get into some makeup. All right. Goodness gracious, I'm sweating. I just took the dog out and came back in the house. It's like, look how red my cheeks are. That is just from going outside for a few minutes with the dog. I need airflow in this room. I need a fan in here so bad. And now we got studio lights on us. But we'll cool off. We'll be alright. We'll survive. For this look, I don't think you need to have the Metropolis palette. These aren't uncommon shades. Any palette with some nice warm coppery reddish tones will get the job done. But I want to use Metropolis because I'm on a Natasha Denona kick. The Yucca palette has got me all back into my Natasha Denona love. Yeah, I've already primed my eyes with the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow stick in Shell. And what I'm going to do to start this look is actually take the dual-ended shadow stick from Bobbi Brown in the shades Rusted Pink and Cinnamon. I'm going to use Cinnamon as kind of my base to build off of, and maybe we'll use a little bit of Rusted Pink in here too. I feel like these colors kind of work well with this palette, and we can just kind of play and see where we end up. I don't have a strict game plan today, so let's just dive in here. I'm going to start with the cinnamon side of this pencil, and I'm going to just do like a little wedge shape here on the outer corner, like so, and we will blend that out with a smudge brush, or with a little flat blendy brush, packer brush, whatever you want to call it, and just use it to start creating our shape. But yeah, every day has been like near record bright red heat warning in the corner of my computer on the weather alert thing. Okay, do we have every day? Can we just get a day that is not like that? No? Okay. It did rain earlier in the day yesterday, so it did cool it down some. Was it yesterday or day before? And there was like a couple hours where it wasn't scorching hot and it was kind of pleasant, even though it was super humid. It's like, I'll take it. Like, it's so hot, you just don't want to go outside. You don't want to go nowhere. You don't want to even like do the transition between the car and building. And everywhere you go, it's still hot inside because it's like the AC can't even keep up with it. Every restaurant I've gone in has been like slightly like just vaguely uncomfortably warm. Like it can't cool off. And it's been like that in every store where it's just kind of like the AC is just doing the best it can, but it just is not cutting it. I think that'll be a nice starting point, nice little base. So far, my summers consisted of swimming every weekend at a various friend's house. One weekend we go to one friend's, the next weekend we go to another one's. Whoever will just let us in their pool, basically. And this coming weekend is July 4th, and we're actually having our, like a little party on the 1st. Because I think, July 4th is like during the week. And it's a friend's birthday, so we're going to make it a little party, which will be quite fun. And more pool time. And shockingly, I have not burned. I've been using a couple of different sunscreens, trying them out. because your girl's very allergic to most sunscreens. So that's been a fun challenge of having incredibly itchy body for a week after using one that disagrees with me. Super Goop. I spoke too soon about that Super Goop one, the unseen sunscreen for the body. Nah. Itch City. It took like 2 days for the itchiness to kick in, and then it was just, I'm still kind of itching from it. But I did use a sunscreen that was made for kids, and it did a pretty decent job, and I didn't get itchy and I didn't burn. So at least I can use sunscreen for kids because it's made to be sensitive. All right, I'm gonna take this bright orange, I think, first. We're gonna go into the socket with it. Any bright orange will do you. I'm gonna take that on a fluffy brush, and we're gonna start to tuck it right here into that socket and where we applied that pencil. And just gonna do a little buffing action. And just kind of blending up and out softly. One thing that I am very thankful for is the gym that I go to. They have lots of big like box fans and stuff, like almost like industrial fans everywhere blowing on you, plus an AC unit or AC units. So it's nice. And you get like wind blowing on you while you're working out. It feels really good. I think I'm gonna swap to a bit of a smaller brush. We'll use this is a diffused crease brush from Sigma. Can kind of get where I want a little better with it. So a little bit tighter in there. I'm taking advantage of all these pool days though for extra cardio. I go to like one in the pool when like nobody's really paying attention. I'm just swimming back and forth, just getting it, and I like stay moving the whole time I'm in there. I'm using the pool noodle like it's a weight. Oh my goodness, hey, I'm using my time wisely and still hanging out. So yeah, that's a pretty orange, by the way. It's a very nice orange. Let's see, I'm gonna take a bit of the shade just below it here. We're mostly gonna stay into in that row. This one right here, it is a creamed powder or creamy matte. I'm gonna take a little bit of it. I don't know why I just tried to tap it off, it's cream. And just skirt it around that edge very lightly. Just to soften up that socket, that blend. There we go. Nice. This looks kind of pretty. Just these colors like this, matte. A little more moving into fall with that look. We're gonna keep it summery. I'm gonna lighten it up in a minute, but I just wanted to go ahead and get my good depth and blend in there. And just make sure everything's looking nice and smooth. Now on the lid, I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade just below here. Is kind of a reddish copper. I'm gonna put that on the center of the lid and see how that looks with my little flat brush we used a while ago. And this is a metallic shade. I'll let that kind of blend over. Actually, I think I'll just bring it across the whole lid, in fact. And let it just flow into the other shades. That looks pretty. All right, I'm gonna take the blending brush one more time and clean it off, the big one, or bigger one, and just buff right around, make sure everything is looking nice and diffused. Now I'm gonna take the copper shade right here, this on the next row, and put that on the center of the lid. Just kind of layer it on top. It has a little bit of like a micro sparkle in it, very soft micro glitter. It's just a little bit more metallic and a little more orangey than the previous shade. I feel like we need more copper in there, or a little bit more oomph. Let's do this one in the upper corner. We'll see what it does. Just right in the center. There we go. I want a little bit more glow right in there. A little bit punchier. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Looks like this, even though they could easily be a fall look, I think they look pretty for summer because they're very sunsetty, just rich and warm and just like fiery. I think that can also be nice for the warmer months for like a more glam look. There we go. That's nice. And we'll take a touch of the red of this kind of ruby shade right here. I'm gonna put a little bit on the outer corner. I want to see what it'll look like. Just throwing a touch of it like right here. Yeah, that's nice. Brings a little more fire in. I think there is a CoverGirl clean, fresh, or clean color palette that would create this look really well called Spiced Copper, maybe? I'll link it below for a dupe, and if I see any other little dupes, I'll link them below of palettes you can use to get this look. They're affordable and very kind of accessible. Ooh, we do have this very sparkly kind of gold with a bit of copper in it, warmer gold. I might throw just a touch of that on that very center because it's a bit more of a sparkle. Yeah, just pat that just in the very middle. Create some movement. There we go. Doot, doot, doot. Maybe we'll take a bit of that reddish shade and just come right here. Oh, she's very pigmented there. A little interest though. But yeah, it's like really too hot to be doing glam. But I want to. It's those things. I want to do this. I want to play makeup. I don't care if it's hot. Okay. That looks pretty. I love that. I really do love orangey tones on the eye. I'll forever love warm tone eyeshadow. Okay, so for a bit of definition at the lash line, I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Very Brown Creamy Kohl Liner. I feel like brown liner would be perfect for this. And just stick into the outer portion. And we can take our little brush one more time and just soften. Some last minute perfecting. I'm going to take that sparkly shade. Really tap that on the center. This shade almost feels creamy. A little bouncing around, but we got where we wanted. All right, cool. Let's see, do we have any fallout? Not really. I'm just gonna tidy up the shape a tad with a Q-tip. I'm just gonna do this right here, just to give the outer corner a little more lift to it. All right. Now for skin, I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to skin. I have already applied my normal skincare, and for primer / SPF today, I'm using the new Weightless Liquid Mineral Sunscreen from First Aid Beauty. This is made with zinc oxide and is a broadband spectrum SPF 30 and is made for sensitive skin. This is when you shake up, it has a bit of a tan texture so that it doesn't leave a cast on the skin, and it goes to such a lovely powdery finish. It almost feels a tad oily when you're applying it, but it just goes to this beautiful, beautiful, like no makeup finish where it doesn't impart any coverage, but it just makes everything look so smooth. And it feels really, really lightweight, like it disappears. And it really does have a nice, it also has a blurring effect. I just rubbed glitter on my face. Now I see it because it was on my finger. Yeah, the coffee shop I go to all the time, I started getting iced coffees. And they're like, yeah, it's hot, isn't it? Huh? Because I was always, dead of summer, I still would drink hot coffee, but I'm like, it is too hot. Unless it's early morning, give me iced coffee right now. And they basically make my hot mocha, just put ice in it. So, but my usual order is a sugar-free mocha with half and half instead of milk. Breve. That's my go-to. Sometimes heavy whipping cream, depends, but to me that's just a little too much. I don't mind it in like a cup of coffee, but like in something like this, it's too heavy. So it's not my favorite for that. So I'll deal with some half and half instead. I like half and half a lot. But that's my order pretty much anywhere I go except for Starbucks. I get that shaken oat milk espresso. I'm still kind of obsessed with that. It tastes like one of those Biscoff Lotus cookies. I know that's like 10 trendy drinks ago, but I don't care. Alright, but anyway, skin's primed with that sunscreen, which I think did a fantastic job. Really did blur down the pores. I keep seeing glitter on my face, off my fingers. Alright, so next I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I'm using this one because it is a bit warmer, and I am going for a little bit of a sun-kissed look. We're going warm with the complexion, bronzy, bronze goddess. Says me with no fake tan on or anything. We're faking it today. I put a little bit of bronzer on my neck and my arms because I just don't feel like full self-tan right now, because it's just gonna get all messed up when I go swimming, and then I'll have patchiness and I don't want to deal with it. Alright, buff this out. And another really nice thing about the SPF is that if you let it have a minute to sit down, like a good 15 minutes, you won't get any pilling. If you go in right away, you probably will, like if you jump straight in. But I think it needs that good 15 minutes to really set into the skin. It does recommend something about 15 minutes on it. But yeah, it really gives it time to soak right into the skin and kind of dry down. And yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging it so far. I haven't, I'll have to keep you posted if I get itchy. Typically zinc oxide does not make me itch. It's usually chemical. And my eyes didn't burn today either, so that is also a nice perk, because I have very sensitive eyes, especially with SPFs. Just so fun. Alright, let's do a little contour action. We're going to use this one. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer. This is what I put on my neck. Because this one is I don't know if it's waterproof, but it's like water resistant, and yeah, it does good like just to dust your arms down with it. You know, it's like a really firm moussey cream. It's pretty similar to e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, in fact, but you get a huge ass thing here, and you can kind of use it as a bit of body makeup, which is sucks because this is a very expensive bronzer to use it all over your body. But just for a little light, I just take a little bit like that and just dust it on my arms, and it gives me a little color and kind of takes down the freckliness a bit. Alright, so apply this with an e.l.f. putty brush and put it in kind of the bronzer area. We're gonna do a little bit of a bronzer contour. And I really have been enjoying this one under makeup as well as kind of that underpainting, because it has a very smoothing quality to it. It kind of blurs the skin, so it makes a really nice bronzer to wear like as a underpainting step also. It's just very pretty on the skin, honestly. It's one of the better bronzers on the market, and the fact that it is light on the skin in formula, it doesn't look heavy. You can kind of get that no makeup look with it, where it doesn't look like you have anything on your skin. You just look bronze. That's really nice about this. I just watched a Hung Van Gogh video, and he was using a liquid like gel bronzer. I think it was from Sicily. It looked so beautiful. It looks like golden orange when it comes out of the tube. And the way it just melted into the model's skin and looked just like her skin. It has like a matte skin-like finish to it. I was very intrigued. Damn. If I had Sicily money right now, which one day when things quit breaking, I might be able to buy something like that. Lately it has been one thing after the other. Car problems. A hole in the roof. Just, come on. Cannot win right now. I'm taking just a bit right here. Just enhance them cheekbones and take down that big old brow bone. But I was just fussing kind of about like it's one thing after the other, and I was like, I think that's just being an adult and having a house and a car. It's always one thing after the other. Like, there's never really a break from that kind of stuff. It's always, something needs fixing, something needs a little work. That's just part of being grown up. It's an endless cycle of annoyances, but also some really nice moments too, so it's kind of worth it. All right, we're going to take just a tiny bit of the Butter Glow Concealer from Physicians Formula. I mean, just a little bit, because this is pretty full coverage. In fact, I think I'm going to take it onto the back of my hand, kind of decant some. Then we can apply it a little bit lighter with a little concealer brush. I'm going to use the opposite end, my e.l.f. Duo Complexion brush. I'm just going to take a little bit, kind of buff it in. That way I don't apply too much. Because I have a heavy hand sometimes with this concealer by accident. Not meaning to, it just happens. And I always apply way too much. Try to keep it a little bit restrained. And just kind of pounce it out with the big side. And just really put it kind of where I'm needing some brightening. I think Van Gogh's been influencing me again on how to apply makeup. I would like to see him do underpainting. He never does that. I would be intrigued to see him do it. Like, that's just not his style, because he likes to do makeup where you can just kind of stop at every step and not have to do the trust the process thing. That's just not his vibe or his technique. But I would just like to see him try, like, just to do it. But I did do a whole video on my underpainting technique. If you're interested in it, trying it out, I break it down step by step in that video. Yeah, see, I think that looks a lot better doing it this way. It just looks a little more seamless, just lighter. I'm using so much less product. That is one of my favorite things about underpainting, is really you do use more steps, but less of each step. And it's just very easy, kind of foolproof to me, and creates a really seamless look on the skin. And I like to blend as I go. I don't like to just put the stripes on and then just blend it all at one time. I like to really focus on getting one layer looking nice and then going with the next layer, and really take my time with this. But it's also something I can do fairly quickly if I am in a hurry. I just want to brighten up right there. I have a bit of a divot there. Around the mouth. Okay, does anyone else's skin get weirdly dry in the summer? I've been having like surface dryness all summer so far. And I'm like, what is going on with that? Because I'm usually fairly oily. And my skin's still oily, but it's also got some dryness now. Which is just, so much fun to deal with. But under here, gonna carve out that cheekbone just a little. Now we're brightened, we can take the foundation now. I'm going to use the CC Dude Glow from It Cosmetics. It's one of my favorite ones for the summer, and it's got added SPF in it. It has an SPF 40 on top of the SPF I already got on. More is more when it comes to the SPFs. I'm just like, pile them all on me as long as they don't make me itch. And this is kind of my summer color. It might be a little bit deep, but we'll make it work. And I'm just going to take a small amount, and the same way I did the concealer, just kind of buff it into the brush, take most of the excess off like this, and just start to kind of pounce it around the face and let everything kind of marry together in a very light application. I'm using more of a pouncing motion so I don't disturb anything, and it just kind of makes everything flow into each other and look really blended and seamless and nice and all the good things. And you only have to add it really where you need the coverage. You don't have to go too heavy with it, because the cream layers, like the bronzer and stuff, they do offer a touch of coverage. And you can go ahead and do your blush as well. I actually just forgot to do my blush first. I've been doing that also, is doing the blush underpainting, which I think it looks really pretty as well. But that's okay. But all these different layers are adding coverage. So when you get to the foundation step, you really don't have to add that much. You know, depending on your preference. I'm not a big heavy coverage person. I do like very sheer layers because I think they just sit a little bit better on the skin and wear a little bit more gracefully throughout the day. And just pounce, pounce, pounce. I do get a lot of redness around my jaw, so I have to kind of make sure it is blended there. And of course, ears, if they'll be showing. And we use such a small amount. Look how much I've left on my hand. There's half a pump left. Alright, getting close up. Everything looks, bronzer and everything looks nice and blended out. I'm going to take a little bit of cream blush. This is the Danessa Myricks in the shade Golden Hour. I'm going to take a little bit on a fluffy brush. And I mean a little bit. Very pigmented, this blush. But it's just a beautiful, warm, perfect summery shade. And I do like to take a little bit just around the face, because I think it makes it just feel a little bit more native to the skin. A little on the nose. And if you went too hard or something, you can always jump back in with your foundation brush and just kind of tamp things down. Needs to be the Wet n Wild Essence Primer 2-in-1 Finishing Powder. Powder brush. This one a little bit goes a long way, and it's quite brightening. And just tap a little under here. I wish they would come out with this in like a pinky tone. Ooh, I would be all over that. I'm just gonna sit down in the areas that are looking a little too dewy. They don't want to be super shiny. And around the eyes, I'm gonna take a small brush and get just under here. It's nice and set. All right, that crease of the nose. Very brightening. Jump over to my Nudegasm from Charlotte Tilbury. Take a bit of the bronzer in here. I think I'm gonna go with the darker one. This one right here. Enhance the depth. And I'll take the lighter one. Just do a little bit of a buff with it. And then for a bit of glow, I'm going to take the Nudegasm shade right here. It's called a Multi Glow. It's just kind of a peachy, highlighty shade. And pat right here. Apply that where we applied our blush, just to kind of set that down and get some glow from it. Get some glowy cheeks. All right, and a bit of highlighter. We'll go with the one in this palette called Super Glow. Just a kind of golden champagne. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of that on the inner corner as well. Whatever's left, just under the brow. Very lightly. Tip of the nose. All right, now moving on to the lower lash line, I am gonna take the Bobbi Brown pencil again, a bit of that cinnamon shade, and just run it across the outer part. About that far. That kind of flow up to join up on that outer corner, and then just kind of disappear as it comes inward. Just a little added depth. I am going to take the brown eyeliner right in there on that inner part, outer part. Just going to tuck it right in there. Go back to our palette real quick and take some of that vibrant orange we used first time right here. Take just a little bit of that. I think I'm gonna switch to a more concentrated little brush just so I can have good control. Nice kind of orangey haze. We'll take the creamy matte and just come under that just a little bit, just to kind of soften it up just a touch, like barely there, just like we did on the upper part. A bit of that kind of rose goldy copper right here. I'm going to run that just all the way along. That sparkly shade we used in the center of the lid. Just a little bit of it. I'm going to press it right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to take a bit more of that orange. The original. Just going to amp that up a little bit. I'm liking the way this is looking. I'm going to take a bit of this kind of light champagne shimmer right here and just touch the innermost bit right here with it. Bring in some light. All right, cool. Let's do some mascara. We'll just go with L'Oreal Telescopic Lift because it's what I got out, and I'm going to touch my brows up, so I'll be right back. Okay, now let's do lips. I just did my normal brow products. All that will be linked below, along with everything else I used today, of course, and some eyeshadow palettes you can get this look from really easily without spending a touch of the donut prices. All right, for lips, we're gonna go with ABH in supposedly cool brown. This is not cool brown. I don't know where they get that from. Gonna line the lips with this. Does that look cool to you? It don't look cool to me. It looks like a warm cocoa brown. And blend it with my finger. And we're gonna take Color to Rain and Be Pleased because I'm just really into this lipstick right now. Get a nice little ombre. And go back with a little bit more lip liner and just tidy things up. Okay, and I think that's our look all complete for today. Now, if you wanted to keep this on all day in the heat, more powder and some setting spray. And good luck. In this heat anyway, everything's melting, so there's only so much you can do. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today, creating a nice summery, fiery, warm look. Very caliente. I don't know. What is the name of Alana Davidson's blush? Picante. It was like right there. This feels like a very picante look. And I love it. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me and griping about the heat. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.